Hey guys, welcome back to I'll Read What She's Reading. I'm Kennedy.
I'm Reggie.
I'm Mikayla.
And today we are going to be answering the questions you guys submitted to us.
Your burning questions.
Yeah. They're pretty crazy. Just kidding. Not really. But before we started, we wanted to start by saying thank you guys so much for selling out our merch.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Honestly, you guys just blew us out of the water. We kept texting each other, updating each other, like, there's only 3 brown ones left, or there's only 2 mediums left, and it was just so fun. And we're so excited to see your guys' pictures and stuff. You guys have already been posting in your blue cruise, and we just love it.
Oh, it's been so fun. So
I'm just waiting for the day when I see someone in public wearing it, and I will freak out.
same.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much. We never expected for merch to do as well as it has, and we just love that you guys love it as much as we do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Because we genuinely, we wanted to create something that we loved, like, so much, and we were obsessed with it, and we didn't want to rush anything, and so lots of time and energy has been put into this merch, and we are just obsessed with it. So we are glad you guys are too.
More to come.
yeah, we hate to be those people, but more to come. We think you guys are gonna like it a lot. You can still shop the tote. P.S. This tote is still on our website, so
Yeah.
if you haven't grabbed one, go grab yourself one. Without further ado, should we get into the questions? Oh no, first we're gonna update you guys on what we're reading right now. Mikayla.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm reading 2. Iron Flame, right?
Mhm.
I keep wanting to say Fourth Wing.
I
I don't
know,
know why. So Iron Flame, I'm only like 200 pages in, and then I'm also listening to Daisy Haites, and I'm close to being done with that. So
How are you liking that?
it's good.
Did you like Magnolia Parks or Daisy better? Like the book?
I think I'm liking Daisy better.
Okay.
I just think, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know how many point of views you get in Magnolia Parks.
I think
It's only
you get
2.
Yeah.
This one's 3. So I kind of like a lot of
You've
point of
listened
views.
to both books, right? Do you
Yeah.
like listening to them?
Yeah, because they have like accents and it's fun.
Okay, cool.
The way they say stuff, I'm like, wait, what'd they just say though? Because it's really heavy accent. So
The annoying thing about reading Daisy Haites was, I don't know how to describe this eloquently, so hopefully this makes sense. You know how in like literature, when you're reading and then there's like a 1 and you go down and it's like a works cited page at the very bottom? That's how Daisy Haites' book is. So she'll be talking and she'll be like, Christian Jimenez is so hot, and then it'll have a 1 and you have to go to the bottom of the page and it'll be like, he's the hottest of the Jimenez brothers.
Oh, that's
It's
funny.
the weirdest thing.
But it's
So-
not like that in the audiobook.
no, I just like they just read it how
Yeah.
it's supposed to be directed when you're like reading it versus physical, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So reading the physical copy, it was like I'd be reading and then I'd have to go down to the page and then I would misplace my place, and it was just like I hated her chapters for that reason.
Really?
But other than that,
Yeah,
liked the
I
book,
mean, I
so.
haven't really noticed anything. So they haven't done anything different. It's just straight up reading it.
So maybe that's a better audiobook
Yeah.
than physical book. I don't know.
I love the voices of Julian and Christian. So
You have to let me know when you finish it. and what you
okay,
think.
I will.
Reggie,
Sweet.
what are you reading?
Well, I just feel like it needs. I don't want to be that person. But I did finish Crescent City.
Woo,
Both
round of
books.
applause. Way to
So
go,
I just had to
Reggie.
throw that out there because I know you guys have been hounding us for months.
Years.
You need to read. You need to read it. I finished it. Mikayla and Kennedy have only read House of Sky and Breath, and it's killing me that they haven't started the next one.
Wait,
but,
no, House of
or
Blood
wow,
and Blood
See,
and Earth.
I'm getting them
Right,
confused.
I was like, we haven't read Sky and
House
Breath,
of
right?
Earth and Blood.
Yeah, Earth and Blood.
Blood and Earth, Earth and Blood. Anyways, so I just finished that, and I have been on a high. It's been great. But I am currently reading Iron Flame. I did start listening to the
Abby Jimenez.
which the friend one, the
Oh,
friend
the friend
zone.
zone. Yeah. Okay.
But I just haven't. I'm like done with all my big shoots and stuff, so I haven't really had time to like listen to an audiobook. So we'll see how far I get on that one. The good news is Spotify now lets you, with your premium, you can listen to like 15 hours of audiobooks, on there. And so, I mean, technically it said I had like 5 days to listen to that one. It's not going to happen, but I think I can reuse it for the next month. But, yeah, started that. So far, so good. Yeah, I just am reading Iron Flame slowly but surely.
Same.
So
we're getting there. We are.
Our delusional selves thought we were going to be able to finish it before today and record a podcast episode on Iron Flame today. No. But
no,
we will give that episode to you soon, we promise. So
one day.
And what are you reading, Kennedy?
I mean, obviously Iron Flame. I'm also listening. Okay, so I started the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes in between Crescent City 1 and Iron Flame, thinking I would finish it. Absolutely not. So I'm like reading it and listening to it because I have it on Audible. And I don't really know how I feel about it, honestly. It's just, I don't know. It's this weird thing where they want you, it's almost like you're supposed to empathize with Snow, and it's really hard to do that. And yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Mikayla had said this in her review. I saw it when she finished the book, that she thinks the movie is going to be better than the book. And I agree. So right now it's kind of hard for me to get through it just because I'm on a high of these. It's sandwiched in between these two really good fantasy novels. So I feel like it's kind of that case of the right book, wrong time maybe. But other than that, that's all I'm reading.
All right,
yeah, let's get into the questions. I'm excited. Some of these I haven't read all of them, but they were
Are you
good.
starting at the bottom?
No, I just went down to the bottom. I think the first one we should answer, I know a whole bunch of people answered this question, is how did we meet?
You guys start first.
Okay. I've known Kennedy since elementary school.
We gotta find the pictures. You gotta find those pictures.
I know. I'll do that today. I'll go down and look at my box of all my stuff my mom gave me. We were in the same 5th grade class.
Yeah, who was it?
Miss Israelson.
Oh, she had the funky fingers. Do you remember that? She could like do that weird thing with her fingers, and she cried a lot.
Yeah, she cried a lot.
Yeah, it was her first year.
Yeah. So we had 5th grade together. Then we went to different middle schools. And then we literally didn't like really speak to each other, or we're not friends anymore. We didn't have any falling out or anything. It was just like
different
we ended
groups.
up going to different schools for like 2 years. And then after we graduated, we were both doing photography and video and stuff. And so we started shooting weddings together, and we had like a big commercial client together. And so we were with each other like a lot. And now we're with each other even more.
And I just inserted myself into this friendship.
Whatever. We had another friend that did a Christmas party with a whole bunch of photographers, and Mikayla was one of them that was there.
I was there. And inserted myself.
No, you did not. I probably wouldn't be reading if it wasn't for you. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I had just gotten back into my reading era. You know, everyone has, at least I had a reading era when I was like in high school, middle school, and I stopped for a while when I went to college and moved to Utah. So yeah, we bonded over our love for Spider-Man, and we just could not stop talking about the new movie. It was around, what's the movie called? I forgot.
No Way Home.
Mm-hmm. We just could not stop talking about it.
Because it was like 2 weeks or something before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were so excited. We were talking about theories. We all went and saw it, and then we all Marco Polo'd like a bajillion times about everything. And then, yeah, I started reading. And
so wait, when was that? Was that 2021 that we met? Like had that Christmas party?
Yeah.
Because I think I had just had Lennon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just like started hanging out, and then it's just been fun. I don't really know how this podcast started.
I think we were just Marco Poloing about a book. We were all reading ACOTAR at the same time.
Okay.
And I think we were Marco Poloing about it, and it just kind of casually got brought up. Like, it would be fun to do a book podcast. And then we were like, wait, are we actually going to do that? Because I think one of the questions someone asked too is like, how did you guys decide to start the podcast? So I don't know. It just kind of casually came up, and then we were like, okay, let's just do it.
we just could not shut up.
Yeah.
And we're like, maybe we should see if other people would want to listen to us. And it just started. Reggie had a podcast previously.
Which is another question somebody asked.
Yeah, it's not worth looking up at all, but that was one of the reasons I was really excited to do the book podcast, because I was doing a podcast by myself, and I was like I still enjoyed doing it, but it was kind of hard to just sit by myself and talk to myself. I'd have guests and stuff on, and I loved that. And so when they're like, the three of us do a podcast, I was like, immediately, yes, like I will drop everything and do it, because co-hosts are the way to go. So yeah.
And now here we are.
Yeah.
Talking to you guys about books.
I can't think of anything else. So it started photographers. We're all photographers. These two met a long time ago, rekindled their friendship after high school, and then Christmas party. Podcast.
There you have it.
Short timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is our most favorite and least favorite book you have ever read?
Oh my gosh. Starting out with the hardest question.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll give you my least favorite book first. Let's all do our least favorite first.
Okay.
I need to look on Goodreads real
Let me
quick.
go to
This
my
is
1
really
star
hard.
reviews.
I don't think I can.
I know my least favorite book. Tender as the Flesh.
Mm.
Didn't finish it. That's my least favorite.
There's a few books I haven't finished. So I feel like when I started this, I was like, oh, I've never like not finished a book, or like I don't rate books very low. Yeah, I've since taken that back.
But that's good.
I've
Mature.
read many books, so
You're maturing as a reader.
Oh my word. Okay. I don't have it on my Goodreads because I read this before I got Goodreads. They both die at the end.
Oh, I have that. I haven't read it because I think you scared me off.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't finish it, and I know how it ends. So
Did you know there's a second one?
yeah, it's like a prequel.
Oh.
Like they're the first to die at the end. Like the first people to
Oh, okay.
in this world. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, it's probably my least favorite book.
Okay.
I just couldn't relate. But if you like
Yeah.
it, that's good for you. I'm so sorry.
I feel like there's got to be one besides the one I'm going to say. But I think the reason I say this book is because so many people liked it, and I just have a lot of beef with this book.
Okay.
Things we never got over. I
Oh,
wish
yeah.
I wouldn't have finished it. Like, it makes me mad when I think about it, because it was just so long, and I thought the plot was so dumb, and it was just such an overhyped book, and it was just immature. There's so many things I didn't like about it. I've talked about it on the podcast a couple times, so I'll leave it at that. But that's the first one that comes to my mind. But I'm sure there's one on here that I didn't mark as read because I didn't finish it, that I can't even think of. But that one gets me most riled up. So
Okay.
I don't know how to pick a favorite book.
Maybe let's do like a basic answer, because I'm sure we're all going to say some Sarah J. Maas book, and then a non-basic answer. My basic answer is, or you want to know what? Let's do our latest book.
Latest
Latest favorite. Yeah, our latest 5-star.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go first. Mine is A Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. And let me just say, I think Abby Jimenez might be my favorite romance author.
Same.
I'm sorry, Emily Henry, but I think Abby Jimenez has
Take the cake.
Yeah, every one of her books I just love so much. And A Part of Your World, it's funny because I've seen a lot of people read it recently, and they've rated it really low, but I loved it. The small town vibes, the kind of like city girl with the country boy, just reminded me a lot of me and my husband, and it was just so cute. And I just love Abby Jimenez. So
I love it.
Nice.
I love her too. I didn't rate that one quite as high, but I still really enjoyed it so much.
And it's saying a lot because I listened to that book. I didn't read it.
Yeah.
So imagine if I would have read it, I would have liked it that much more. Anyway.
Okay. My most recent 5-star is The Ballad of Never After.
Yeah.
That's number 2 in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. That one just takes the cake.
So good.
Takes the freaking cake. So good. And that's all I'll comment, because Reggie hasn't read it yet.
Yeah.
And she will eventually.
Well, I'm not going to make much of a comment about mine, but mine's House of Sky and Breath. So.
That's true.
Okay.
I really did debate for a minute while I was reading it. Like, am I going to give this 5 stars? I don't know. There was moments where I was like, yes. Moments where I was like, I don't know.
But the fact that you've thought about it as much as you've had.
No book has ever made me feel the way that book made me feel. So.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
Okay.
All right, there you have it.
We'll keep you updated.
Okay.
Maybe by the next time we record,
Maybe.
we'll be done.
And we
Maybe.
do have plans. Can I say this?
Yeah.
We do have plans to do some sort of like recap or just full episode on the first 2 books, I think, before we read the 3rd one. And then we're going to do like a little staycation readathon together, and we will be updating you guys on that as we go.
Like a little vlog type thing.
So if there's anything you guys want to see from that, like a way you want us to format it, let us know. But yeah, we're really excited.
Mm-hmm.
Me especially. I'm sure you guys will feel the same. But yeah, okay.
Okay, what's your favorite trope to read? Who wants to go first?
You want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Enemies to Lovers. It never gets old.
No.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish like this was different, but then I'm like, I eat it up
The
more than
banter.
I know.
any other trope. It's just the most satisfying.
I just
I
love
think it's
it.
the most satisfying trope.
Yeah.
My other, I don't even know if this is like a for sure like a trope, but my other favorite is like one of them is injured.
Oh.
And the other mends the wounds. I love that so much. It's like they're enemies to lovers. One of them gets hurt and they're like, there's nobody else here. I have to have you help me mend my wounds. And then, yeah, it's so good. I love it.
Big fan. I thought this was an interesting question, so I'm going to ask it. What is your favorite assigned book you had to read for school?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I'm trying to remember because, like, here's the thing. I felt like in high school, I really wasn't a reader. So I feel like I really spark note a lot of books I had to read.
Yeah, same.
Who didn't?
Uh,
I really like Tuesdays with Morrie. I remember having to read that one, and I really enjoyed that. But I can't really think of any other
I think
books I had to read for school, or even like in college.
Oh, well, in college I had to read The Boys in the Boats. A movie's coming out in December.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, it's so good. It's about I forget what it is. They're rowers, like competitive rowers.
Oh, cool.
I think it might be for college, and it just tells the story of their team and stuff like that. But it comes out really soon. I think it comes out in December. And the boys in the boats look mighty fine.
I will be watching then.
Just for the boys in the boats.
I'm not even sure if I finished it though. That's the thing. I can't remember if I ever finished. And then the other one that like comes to my head is Fahrenheit 451.
I've seen that so many times in Barnes & Noble. Isn't it science fiction? It's about a firefighter.
No.
No?
Now I'm questioning everything.
No. It's about burning books.
Yeah.
That's what it's
They're
about.
not allowed to have books.
Okay, yeah.
I think I would say it's more like dystopian, futuristic.
Okay.
Because they're not allowed to have books. And then the main character starts questioning why they're not allowed to have books.
Okay.
I think Fahrenheit 451 is some temperature that it takes to burn something.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I just remember that is the first thing that pops to my head. I can't remember anything that I read in high school.
The only one I can think of is like Of Mice and Men.
You had to read that?
Yeah.
Was that boring?
When did you read that one?
I can't remember, but I remember reading it and I remember reading that. Because no way in heck was I about to read that on my own accord.
No. Do you remember anything from it?
For some reason, I remember one of them maybe having mice in their pocket. I don't remember anything. You guys, I feel like I can't remember anything that I learned in school.
You know, we didn't need it anyway, so.
There's very few things I remember, even from my college degree, which is another question.
There's another question?
There's a question about, I'll just say, I can't remember who asked it, but someone asked if we went to college and if we have degrees.
They're probably like, these girls don't sound like they have degrees.
Unfortunately, I do.
These girls are dumb.
I have a degree in, technically, it's called communication disorders and deaf education, but it's basically a bachelor's degree to be a speech therapist. But I got my bachelor's degree, but decided I didn't want to pursue a master's, and I did photography instead.
Way to be.
So,
Way to be.
yeah.
Me and Mikayla over here, like, you got your associates, right?
I have my associates.
Me too.
Hey, that's great.
We went to college for 2 years and called it quits.
But here's the thing: you guys don't need none of us need a degree to do what we're doing. So, and we're all very good at our jobs, and we're great.
I wish I would have done something with like financing, because
Like business.
business.
That's why my husband went into that, and I just
Mooch
say
off
it
of
helped
him.
me. Yeah.
Husband, do your husbandly duties. Finances. Just kidding.
Accounting.
All right. Is it me?
I think
is
it's
it
Reggie.
Is it
I
Reggie?
just did mine, the school one.
I'll go.
It is yours. Sorry.
Trying to skip me, Kennedy.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. If you could live in any universe setting in a book, where would it be and why? I feel like this is the hardest question because
I already know
all of the
mine.
universes I want to be in would suck for a little bit.
Yeah.
What's yours, Reggie?
I mean, it sounds so basic, but when I think about all the fantasy books I've read, it just sounds like the it just seems more magical, and I'm more intrigued by it. I feel like I would have to go, can I say that? Can I say Valaris?
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too.
But I mean, I would like to go to Valaris. I would love to experience all of the different courts of Perinthian. Take me to the spring court. I know. Hold on.
That might have been a spoiler. Yeah, okay.
I want to see what the spring court looks like. I want to do the summer courts. I just want not the scary ones, but like all of the cool ones. I want to just transport myself there and experience it, because it just sounds like the coolest thing. And travel from each place sounds really cool. So
A bat boy carrying you around.
Count me in.
I have no idea. I feel so torn.
You kind of sold me on the whole different courts thing.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say
there's
something
other
else.
places I would love to go to for the purpose of like the characters in the book and just like good fun vibes. But when I actually think about physically seeing something and that just seems that knocks it out of the park for me. So
I think Reggie's answer is where I would go
Yeah.
to.
Way to sell that, Reggie.
thank you.
I think it'd be fun
You're
just to
welcome.
dress in all the different courts.
Oh yeah. Ooh, this one is so hard.
Are you on the same one I am? No,
If
you're
you
not.
only got to choose one more book to read, which would you choose?
Probably, oh my gosh, probably House.
Like
A
one
Flame
we've
and
read
Shadow?
and that's all we can read?
No,
For forever?
like from one book on your TBR, you only have one book left to read.
Oh,
You can only read one book.
yeah. I would probably choose House of Sky and Breath.
Probably. My answer would probably be different if it was like a different time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, mine would be Flame and
Because if it
Shadow.
was a few weeks ago, I probably would have said A Curse of True Love or something like that.
Yeah. Or Iron Flame.
Yeah.
If you could pick one book boyfriend to be with forever, who would it be?
That's an impossible question.
I've got my top 3. Should we give our top 3?
Yeah.
I mean, it says one.
Or should we
I'll
wanna
say my
change the
top
question.
3, and then I'll decide. My top 3 are Rhysand, Dorian, and Xaden.
Ooh.
Who am I going to pick out of those 3?
I feel like I know who you'd pick.
Do you think I'm gonna say Resand?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really?
They'll have great things about each other.
They have their own strengths and weaknesses.
I'll just say
You like shadow daddies.
like Phantom Hands.
Phantom Hands.
Let's go with. You guys go first. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like my top 3 might be the same. I gotta remember our Smash or Pass episode. The ones I smashed.
It's crazy because if you would have asked me 3 months ago, I'd have been like Resand, no doubt.
I'll go.
I mean, let's say
You have to choose one.
one
This is the
fantasy,
question.
one
I'm gonna choose-
fantasy,
I'm gonna choose one.
one fantasy one, and one like not fantasy one.
Oh my gosh.
Who's the guy in Part of Your World? I can't remember his name.
I can't either.
Him.
The thing is, I can't remember their names. But like,
You can just say the book they're in. I think that's fine.
okay.
Final answer. This is not. I'm just gonna say finance or Resand. We'll just leave it at
I'm
that.
gonna.
I almost
have
said
to
Zayden.
say- I was conflicting between the two,
I'm gonna go Resand.
but you know, for some reason I get a little nervous picking Zayden. We still got like 4 more books. 3, so I'm gonna go with Daddy Reese.
Daddy Reese. I am, in fact, not going to. Oh, well. You guys know me. I'm just too predictable. I'm going to say Rowan. He just has such a special place in my heart. And he always will. So, but it doesn't mean that all of the other characters are also daddy. You said one, I chose one, but I'd choose them all if I could. So,
Same. Good point.
I can't be selfish and have them all. So, are we doing non?
I think if I had to pick a non-fantasy book person, I don't know why I'm so hung up on that Nathaniel guy from In the Likely Event, but there was just
He's a
something
great
about
one.
that man.
He's a great one.
The thing is like every just regular rom-com contemporary romance book, every man is pretty flawless for the most part. So it's kind of hard. And a lot of them kind of feel the same.
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna say A Part of Your World because he reminds me of my husband. So
love it.
That's so cute.
fantasy novel guys don't remind me of my husband per se because, you know, they got bat wings and shadow powers. My husband doesn't have that.
Darn.
Too bad.
Darn it. Dang. You know what? Another top contender is Jax.
I thought you were gonna say him for a second.
He's
Something about
definitely
him.
I know. Something. I want him to bite me. I mean, Maroon does that too. So sorry.
That one scene.
I'm getting hot and bothered, like Reggie says.
Should we change? Should we do a new question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Whose turn is it to
Yours.
ask?
No, Mikayla's. It's yours.
Me. I'm so sorry, you guys.
She's just over here sweating.
My cheeks are getting a little red. Oh, this is literally the hardest question I think someone could ask. What book character do you relate to the most?
Oh, I gotta think on that one.
I know. If we need to come back to it, we can.
Hold on. Why do I feel like there was a recent one that I read that I was just like,
There's someone I want to be. I don't know if I necessarily relate to her.
okay, I'm gonna. There just are certain. This is only because it's fresh on my mind. There are just certain aspects of Bryce that I really, really related to, between like obvious daddy issues and just like she felt like she had to prove herself all the time, and just so many things about her. I felt like that's why I connected with the character so fast, because I related really a lot to her. Out of all of the SJM women, she's the one I relate to the most. So she's the one that comes to mind first. But I'm sure there's other characters where I relate a lot more to.
I relate to Magnolia Parks. Just kidding.
Like, oh, it's Magnolia over here.
I'm just kidding. I'm not for this thing. I'm not a fashion queen.
I mean, you're a little.
No.
I think you're pretty fashionable.
Sweater and jeans. That's how it be. I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of pieces of different characters that I relate to.
Mm-hmm.
But one
I can't
full
think
character,
of one as like a whole.
it's hard.
I know. Thanks for choosing that hard-hitting question. Okay. You know, I think I'm going to pick. Obviously, I would love to say I relate to Aylin, but that's not the case. I want to be her. She's my inspo. I think I am honestly, I relate to the, maybe is Evangeline.
Okay. Love her.
Yeah. I think it's because I am just like a very, not saying like, no, you guys aren't, this is not the case at all. I feel like I'm just like a openly loving person, and I feel like sometimes I just get hurt in the process of being that way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I just relate to her. I don't know. Not saying I'm just like such a sweet angel.
You are though.
But I feel like that's just probably a character I relate to the most and would do anything for the people that I love. So
That's a good way to describe you and her. So I agree with that.
So yeah.
Guys, I'm seriously having the hardest time.
I know,
just feel
it's
like
really hard.
I'm kind of a boring person, so there's not like a lot.
You are not.
I don't know. The first person that came to my mind was Violet, because
She's
I feel like I have
small.
major-
Small and dainty.
and she's just like, I know she has like kind of a different body type. She's also like not the strongest person, and she kind of has a lot of imposter syndrome, which I have a lot of. She's also experienced just like a lot of loss, but then she tries to be like overcome it, and I don't know. But I mean, I feel like a lot of fantasy characters in books, you can kind of say the same thing. Like, I don't know, but I just kind of feel like what she's overcome, she's just constantly trying to prove herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's kind of my personality within just like my job, and even, I don't know, just like family life type thing, to just, not that I'm trying to be like, I'm so great, everyone notice how great I am, but like sometimes, I don't know, I just am someone with major imposter syndrome. And not that Violet, she's getting out of that. She's teaching me how to just tell myself that I can do hard things. I don't know.
Stop.
But that's the first one that came to my mind, so I'm just going to stick with that one.
Stick with it.
I love it.
I love it.
I think it's just so cool how you read and you connect to these people that aren't real. But then also after you read, like kind of like what you were saying, they teach you lessons and they almost make you become a better person because they inspire you or drive you to do something. It's just crazy to me how often I think of all these like really cool female characters and in my daily life, and I think, okay, I want to be like this. Well, this person did this, so I can do this. And it's kind of crazy that you take all these characters and they never leave you.
Mm-hmm.
And you just get so attached to them. Anyways, it's just so
That's
cool.
cute. I like
It's so cool the authors can do that.
I know.
I'm curious your answers on this one. What is a genre you want to read more of it next year?
Fantasy.
Is there like a genre besides fantasy though that you guys are like, I want to read more of this?
In a perfect world, I would love to get into fiction, but I just can't.
It's always a hit or miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to try, but maybe thriller. I'd say maybe a little bit more thrillers.
Because when we read The Only One Left, I was like, wait, I've been missing these kind of books in my life. So I have a long list of thrillers that I want to read next year, but I would say any other genre I don't really have much of a list for.
But my problem is I have like 20 fantasy books on my bookshelf that I need to read.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, probably thriller. But I have read a lot of thriller books. I know there's a lot more out there, but I feel like I went on a binge where I just read a ton of thriller books. Well, especially Frida McFadden. All of her books are so small, so they're just easy to get through. So maybe I need to read a little bit more complex thrillers. Not saying hers aren't, but
this is a totally random tangent. Oh, I wish I could remember what this book is called. This girl, she was doing 31 days of scary books for the month of October. And on day 31, she was describing this book. I wish so badly I could remember the name. I looked at it at Barnes & Noble and I almost bought it because it sounded so interesting. Oh, I'm going to butcher how she described it. Basically, this family moves into this house and this man finds this manuscript. And on a page in a book, you have the middle section is basically, they're different type fonts. One of them is the manuscript and one of them is him while he's reading the manuscript. And basically she was just saying, you go through this book and it completely messes with your brain. Like you get to the middle of it and you just start to think that nothing is real in life. She said it was the most unsettled she's ever read reading a book. And I wish so badly I could remember what it's called.
I'm so intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, I found it. It's called House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. Yep.
Looks spooky. 710 pages.
It's really long. I believe. Wait, let me make sure this is it.
I don't know about that.
I wonder if we can listen to it.
I wonder what it would be like. But anyways, she just said it was the most unsettled, like I said, she's ever felt in her life reading a book. So, sounds interesting.
Oh, sorry.
This will be a quick answer. How do you annotate books? I don't.
I don't either.
I don't either.
I would love to go back and reread books and annotate them. I just haven't gotten that far into my reading journey.
I don't know if I could though. Do you want to know why? Because
it takes time.
It takes time, and I also think about it and I'm like, I can't wait for like my kids to read some of the books that I've read. And I feel like if I gave them an annotated, I'd have to like buy the book again. And I don't know. I just don't know if I would want to annotate them.
The one thing
and I have 2 copies of like all my favorite books because that would be insane.
I would love, I do this on my Kindle when I read because you can highlight certain quotes. I would love to do that. Maybe go while I'm reading a book. If there's something that really resonates with me or a quote I really love from a character, I'd love to highlight it. Maybe not necessarily tab and annotate, but I think it'd be fun to like, whatever. I did see one time, Kyle, if you're listening, I know you're not listening, but if you're listening, please do this for me for Christmas. She did say, she was like, the best Christmas gift you can give your book girlfriend or wife or whatever is read her favorite book, highlight stuff, and write stuff in the book. I would die.
I would too, but Cole,
Kendall would never.
Kyle would never. But in a perfect world, he would.
I think we should get a book and I'll annotate it and write like in different colors.
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be so fun.
Like whoever, I don't know. I also just, if I plan on reading the book again, I don't want to have preconceived feelings. Mm-hmm. If I read like the annotated stuff, like if there's stuff I've forgotten, maybe I'll feel different because like we've said many times, books affect you at different points in your life. So maybe if a book didn't affect me quite as much now, but later in life I read it and it affects me a lot more. I don't know. I also hate, I don't have good handwriting.
Me either.
And so I feel like I'm ruining the book when I annotate, you know? Anyways, I wish I could get more into tabbing. Maybe I'll tab books.
Yeah.
And also, I just am in the moment and I don't want to like have to like sit and like grab a tab and like put it in the book. I don't know. I just want to keep going instead of having to be like, okay, I need to stop and write my feelings about this page on here.
Instead, I just have 1.5 million pictures of book pages.
Really?
Because when I love a quote, I just take a picture of it.
Really? I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm a loser,
You're in the
you
moment.
guys.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I just get really, it's like those TikToks where you see like they literally are like in the book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what happens for me. And so if I take a moment to like, I'm out of it.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
So I'm lame. Sorry, guys.
That wasn't helpful to you who asked that question, but
sorry.
we don't annotate. And maybe you can tell in our book recap episodes. I don't know.
Maybe,
Probably, but
maybe we're not.
I also
good.
wanted to say real quick, there's a lot of questions on here about like movie and book adaptation stuff, like our favorites, what things we want to see. In case you missed it, we just recently did an episode on this, so you can, I don't know if you guys wanted to answer any of those questions, but you can go back to the last episode we did.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find all of our thoughts on that there. Just throwing that out there. So
it's your turn.
it's mine. I thought it was Mikayla's.
It's your turn.
Someone asked, do you cut your sandwiches into triangles or rectangles?
Rectangles.
Triangles.
Both. I'm just kidding.
Actually, I don't really know.
I just split it right down the middle,
I do split it down the middle.
and then I cut the crust off.
You cut the crust
No.
off.
If
I'm
I'm
just
eating
kidding.
a full sandwich, I'll cut it diagonally. But if I'm just making a half sandwich,
It honestly depends on the
I
day
just
for
fold
me.
the bread. I don't know. I don't make a lot of sandwiches anymore because I'm trying to go gluten free, and I don't like gluten free bread. So
Depends on the day for me. That was really funny.
Mine's
I
right
like
down the
that.
middle.
I liked it. I feel like we talked about this on the podcast once upon a time, but what is your first memory of a book that ignited your love for reading? I will say what got me back into reading. I used to read a lot in like junior high. I was really into that. And then I didn't really read in high school, college. But this is such a basic answer, but I read It Ends With Us because I was seeing so many people post about it on social media, and I was like, it's been a while since I read a book. And I read that, and then I've literally been reading constantly since then. So yeah.
As an adult, my answer is the same as Reggie's. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, so I feel like I'm repeating myself 1.5 million times. But my mom was a very big reader. She read more like nonfiction, self-help type books. But my favorite thing she's ever done, and I have every book she's ever given me for this reason, and it's actually really cute. She's started to give me children's books for when I have kids. She writes
That's so
cute little messages inside the books every time she gives me a book. And so that's like my first memory of like reading books is always opening it and seeing my mom's handwriting and what she would write, like the note she would write to me in my book.
That's so cute.
So for me, that's,
I didn't know they were children's books.
not all of them,
Yeah.
but some of them are.
That's
Lately
so
she's given
cute.
me children's books, and it's actually so cute
That's precious.
because my mom, I'm sure your moms did this too. My mom from a very young age always read us like books every night, and she was really into like, you know, getting us to read stories.
My mom didn't really do that, but that's okay. I still love her. I will be doing that for my children though.
Yeah.
Lennon's getting back into her reading era. She had a while where she didn't want to read any books, and now it's like bedtime and she wants to read the same book like 6 times in a row. But it's so
Same.
fun every time we read it. So
We have a few friends who their kids are a little bit older, and I love this. I think it's so cute. Their nighttime books are Harry Potter.
that's what I want to do because I
Yeah.
never finished reading Harry Potter. I think it would be fun to read those to my kids before bed at night.
I feel like I've said this in a previous episode, but my mom would always gift me books for Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that. And I remember specifically reading, I think, the last book in Divergent, and I read it in one sitting. My mom literally had to come take my books away from me
That's cute.
because I would just sit down and read them and not do anything else. Yeah, I think those are like some of my first memories, and I lost it for a little bit. You know, life. I feel like everyone always goes through a phase where they like stop reading for a little bit, and then I don't remember. Well, what got me back into reading the second time around is I was rereading all of the books that I read in like middle school and high school. So
The nostalgia.
yeah, the
That's
nostalgia.
fun.
The Gallagher Girls. Love that series so freaking much. I feel like that was one of the first series I reread.
Mm.
So good.
I'm actually having a memory now of my mom giving me books. She would buy those Sarah Dessen books for me all the time. She'd be like, oh, this book looks so cute. It's like a girl on a bicycle. And it was like these little romance books, but they had literally zero spice. I don't know. I just remember reading those and I thought they were good. But then I remember going to the library at school once, and the librarian was like, made some comment about, oh, there was like a book. I don't know if it was the Uglies book. Did that come before? That came before Hunger Games and like Divergent, right?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I want to say it was like the Uglies book.
I haven't read it. So.
And I had like, one of my friends had recently read it, and she was saying how it was like so good. And I asked the librarian, because it was like sitting out on the front, and I was like, are these books good? She was like, yeah, you should really read them. So I checked it out, and then it was like I was in the library checking out books like all the time. And then my mom was like, oh, she likes these sci-fi books. I'm gonna get not Harry Potter, Hunger Games. I just remember constantly reading like series like that in junior high. It was so fun.
Do you guys remember how, sorry, not to have this vivid memory. I'm vividly remembering like my childhood best friend. This is when Twilight was really big. Do you guys remember when her manuscript for Edward Cullen's point of view got leaked on the internet?
No.
When was that?
I didn't read Twilight.
I don't know. It was, yeah, probably because you were really young when it came out.
I was young.
Yeah.
I remember laying in her bed reading the manuscript in like on her little, I can't remember if she had an iPad or what, but we were snuggling in her bed and we were just reading Edward's transcript because it got leaked online. And I remember she was so upset. Did she ever end up releasing it?
I don't
Yeah, she did, but it was like
years later.
Anyway,
that's so funny.
How did
it
I was
get
a
leaked?
Twilight girly. My mom didn't want me to read the last book, but I still read it.
Rebel.
I had kids I babysat one summer, so I remember my mom being like, I don't think you should read it. I don't even think my mom read it, because my mom was just like, you can't read spicy things. And
no spice.
There was these little boys that I would babysit all summer, and his mom had the book. And when I would put them down for their naps, I would just sit and read the book his mom had.
You rebel.
Yeah. That was me reading Eclipse.
Okay. Here is, I think this will be a fun question. A theme you would like to read about but hasn't yet been written. Okay.
My book.
I know we've talked about this on the podcast before. I'm sorry. I feel like we repeat ourselves a lot, but I need a romance book only because this is my job. I need a romance book, photographer, best man, meet at a wedding, fall in love. I just think it'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. Or like
anything in the wedding industry.
Yeah. Because there's like movies out there that are kind of like The Wedding Planner or like things like that. Yeah, I would love to see a book like that. Kennedy's mentioned this on the podcast before, but I would love to read a book that's more similar to like my husband and I's relationship. Not that it's anything super unique, but I'd love to find like, I feel like I've read a lot of books where they meet when they're younger, but they don't really fall in love. They're just like best friends, and then like they find each other later in life. And I know there's got to be a book out there, but I would love to see one that's like high school sweethearts.
You know, I was thinking about that. That would be so incredibly boring though. Because I'm like, they fall in love in high school, and yours is different, but I'm like, me and Kyle, we literally fell in love in high school. Once we met, it was like, that was it. And then it was just boom. There was no, I mean, what's your third act breakup? I don't know. What's the drama? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess that's a fair point.
Cole and I's could be a rom-com with me breaking my face.
We just need an author to write.
Yours could be.
I think I should. I feel like I should write Cole and I's love story. I've thought about it so many times.
Someone asked do you ever see yourselves becoming writers or like writing a book?
Absolutely not.
No.
In a way,
I just do it for fun.
Okay, you guys want to hear this? Maybe this is a deep dark secret. Maybe it's not really a deep dark secret. When I was really in junior high, into my like reading time, when I would get bored in class, I would make up I would write, and I had a notebook, and each notebook was a different story that I would write. But I think back at them and I'm like, they were so dumb. I could never be a writer.
I need to my mom has them, and I know exactly where they are in my mom's house. In elementary school, I would write short stories, and I would illustrate them. And they're straight up in like spiral bound, and you flip through them. I need to show them to you guys because they're bad.
I'd love to
but
see it.
Have I told you guys about the 2 stories that I wrote?
Yeah, you told us about one, and you were telling us the plot, and we were like, yeah, you need to write that.
I don't remember which one I told you about.
Just write that book as an adult under a ghostwriter name.
Okay.
Do you have a theme you don't want to see written, Mikayla?
Probably just my husband and I's love story. It's quite comical, so I think it'd be really funny.
I feel like yours could totally be a rom-com.
Yeah. For those of you guys who didn't know, or should I keep it secret? Anyways, I got headbutted during an intramural soccer game, and I broke my face. And my husband wasn't my husband at the time. We weren't even dating. He took me to the hospital.
That is
He was
straight up
tending to your
rom-com.
wounds.
He was tending to my wounds. And I hate doctors. And so I was just like glazed, like nothing was getting to me. So he had to relay on the information to my parents, who he had never met. It was like my first like 2 weeks at college. It was just a funny time. He was very sweet,
That's so cute.
and I had the audacity to think I was going to break up with him. We did not. So there's our third act breakup.
Hey, you know what? I almost also broke up with my husband, so
Yeah.
there you go.
I was stupid.
I never almost broke up with my husband, so yeah, my love story would be really boring. It'd just be like, wow, they're so in love. They're so in love. And
They're so
getting
in love.
married.
They're so in love. So in love. Marriage.
Are we reading one more then or not?
Yeah. We'll do it really
Are
quick.
there any last ones we want to? Someone said, tell us about your husbands.
Oh.
I don't know if it's my turn.
Cole
for a
has
question.
been asking. He's like, are you guys going to do like a husband's episode?
Yeah, you guys let us know if you want our husbands
I
to
just
come on
don't
the
know
podcast.
what we would do.
I know. I was like, you need to read a book. And he's like, if I read
Would
it,
it
I
be
just
hard?
bag on it the entire time.
With like
And I'm
6 people,
Oh,
it
100%.
would be really tricky.
We could
It's almost
share
like you would
microphones.
just have to be our husbands.
That would be so
That would
funny.
be so
What if we
funny.
give them a
need to make
quiz
them
where
read
it's
a
like,
book.
what is Kennedy's favorite book?
That's a good idea.
Or something.
Or
Oh, yeah, we
have
should
them
do
all
that.
read a book and they all have to discuss
That
it.
would literally be so funny.
That would be so
we
good.
have them read one
I
of our book
think-
club books.
Yes. I think starting off though with like a Q&A thing, like asking about their books or like books we read, because I don't think that would be too hard with 6 people. We'd have to kind of like
I
don't
think
know.
we could share
We'll-
microphones.
we'll figure something out. But I mean, I don't know what people want to know about our husbands. I mean, like what they do or what they're like.
They're a
I
bunch
mean-
of goofballs. That's what.
My
Our
husband
husband-
likes fantasy football.
Yeah, our husbands actually have very similar.
It's annoying, but we love
Yeah.
them. They're all very much into sports.
Yeah, my husband and Mikayla's husband like the same football team, and so
My husband
They
likes
sometimes
their
talk to-
rivals. So
yeah, so they sometimes talk to each other more than me and Mikayla probably talk to each other. I'm like, I swear.
They're constantly texting each other
Yeah.
during the games.
they don't read.
They don't read.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, Kendall has a book that he's reading.
Is it the
It's
war
like
one?
it's like some war book that's like 1,000 pages, and he'll be like, I'm gonna go read my book, and he'll go read like 30 pages of it, but it's like every few weeks. So I'm like, cool, must be really good.
My husband also plays video games.
Same.
My
Lots of
husband
video
doesn't do
games.
video games. He likes to cook, which is really great,
really
but
jealous.
it's also
Same.
really annoying because I feel like I have dishes coming out of my butt all the time. But I can't complain. He cooks for me a lot, so that's nice. What I'm trying to think of anything else. My husband works at a car dealership,
My husband welds.
manages one.
They're great guys. One
They're
day we'll
great.
do a podcast with them or just them, so you guys can get to know them.
I wonder if they like. I want them to guess what our husbands would look like.
I know we've never posted anything of our husbands
No.
on our, unless they like follow us personally.
We should post
but-
pictures of our husbands and have people guess whose husband they think they are. Is this Mikayla,
We
Reggie, or
should.
Kennedy's
I feel like
husband?
it would be easy to pick. I don't know, but maybe that's
Just their faces.
Just their face, like
literally
not.
how tall they are, nothing. Just their
Okay.
faces.
That would actually be really funny.
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Also, someone asked how I'm feeling, and I thought that was really cute.
I did see that.
I'm feeling I'm feeling pretty decent. I'm feeling pretty good. My baby's very healthy, and it's going by very fast. So
Can't wait to meet your baby.
yeah.
Do you guys have a book that you're embarrassed to have loved?
Probably.
Once upon a time, I did love Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
When I first read it, I was like, wow, like, because I hadn't read a self-help book in a long time. I was like, yeah. And then about like 6 months after I read it, I was like thinking about it more, and I was like, and then all this stuff came out about Rachel Hollis, and I'm like, I can't believe there was a period in my life where I was like, yeah, this book is so good. Very embarrassed to even say that out loud, but
yeah, I read that too. I remember highlighting a lot of stuff and being like, I'm gonna revolutionize my life. Yeah, no.
Probably a Colleen Hoover book, if I'm being honest.
Probably
That's
the
not
same.
too bad.
I don't remember.
Either that or like one of my dog books. Just because they're so cheesy.
Your
but
dog bookies. There's nothing wrong with those, though.
No, they're just really cheesy.
how has reading influenced your personal growth and confidence?
Well, for me, I feel like it's helped my mental health a lot for a lot of different reasons. Number one, it's really helped me get off of social media. And I just feel like being on social media for long periods of time is just bad for your mental health in general. My husband coaches basketball. So in the winter, he's like not home at all. In the winter, obviously, I feel like for most people it's really hard to stay mentally happy and healthy just because you can't go outside and a whole bunch of other, it's cold, whatever. And so reading, last winter was the first year that I read while he was coaching, and it was so good because sometimes he doesn't get home until like 10:30 at night after games, and it felt like I had all these friends because I was reading these books, and it's just been really good. And then also I just feel like this is so cheesy, but after reading Throne of Glass, there's so many like good one-liners. I mean, you guys know, like, you do not yield. I think about that all the time when I work out. I ran a Spartan race this summer, and it was around the same time I was reading Throne of Glass. And I just remember like lugging this like 50-pound sandbag up this hill, and I was like trying to breathe. I thought I was going to throw up, and I like wanted to hyperventilate and cry because I was literally like a fourth of the way up this hill. And I just remember thinking, like, you do not yield. It sounds so cheesy, but like saying that the entire time I was doing it made it so I was able to get up that hill. And it sounds so dumb, but yeah, it's really impacted me in a lot of ways when I sit and think about it.
I have been, just so you don't feel like, I don't think it's dumb that you said those things, because the other day, saved a bunch of audios on TikTok that are like empowering from books that I've read, that I'm like, I'm going to take this with me when I go give birth.
Oh, stop. Have Kendall. Next one.
I'm literally going to be like,
next one.
Listening to them, or I have this little, like, it's called like the doula deck or something. It's like these cards for like pregnancy and like postpartum and like birth that you can like look at, that gives you exercises to kind of like distract you from labor or whatever. And I was looking through those, and I was like, honestly, I just need cards that say like lines from my favorite books that, I don't know, because it's true. There's like some moments too, even hard days I have as a mom, and I like have to remember quotes from books, and I'm like, or I just remember, I'm like, this is really such a small little problem I'm having compared to bigger problems that definitely are happening in the world. But even in like the books that I'm currently reading, I'm like, if so-and-so can do this, I can make it through my day of doing whatever. And I also, like, when I first started reading, got back as an adult, and I got back into my like reading stuff, I was having such a lonely time. Like, I kind of like relied on books to be like my friends, because I had literally just given birth, and I didn't really have any like close friends, and I just kind of felt a little lonely. And so I kind of had to like lean on these characters in books to kind of be my friends and kind of get me through lonely days I had, which sounds so sad and depressing. But I would say too that reading has helped my mental health a ton. And it's just so nice to like have a little place that you can escape to at the end of your day. Even whether you're having a good day, even on like a good day, it's nice to be like, oh, I have this place that I can really like escape to for a minute. And I just feel like having that just makes my days a little more like positive and uplifting, even if I'm reading something dark and depressing and scary. It's just like, I don't know. And it's taught me how like reading can make a difference, even just in like little kids' lives, like having a 2-year-old, how much she just learns from reading like a little book teaches me like even though maybe I'm reading some silly but people would call silly books, it's making me a better person in a way. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like there is a lesson to learn in almost every book you read, and I think it's just so cool that even as you get older, you are still like learning and growing as an individual and human being. And it's so cool that authors have the power to do that and strengthen and rise and empower women. And I just think it's so cool that I get to read about these bad A females, and I aspire to be like them, and it teaches me that I can do hard things. And yeah, it's just really fun that I get to have book friends, like fictional characters, and then it's also so fun to have these two to talk about books, and not even just talking about books. We talk about our life all the time to each other, and we rant and we vent about our problems, and we're always here to uplift each other. And so it's just been really cool to have this like connection that we have basically from books, but also outside of books as well. So
Cute.
That was so cute.
Sappy alert. And didn't think we would end this on a sappy note, but reading is good for you. Reading is fun. Yeah.
Thanks for submitting your questions.
Yeah, that was fun. We haven't done anything like this before. So.
Hopefully you guys are entertained. And that's all we got for you today. Happy reading. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.